Episode 31. Now, what a diamond of an episode. All the people will throw their hands up and rejoice at episode 31. There's laughter, there's tears, there's tragedy. At one bit, Lukas does an impression of Owen Wilson, and I cut his impression out because I copy the impression, so I'll make it look like I did it. So watch out for that. That's a funny bit right at the end. If you'd like to support the show, if you've got the time and you'd like to support us, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. You could probably do it on the website. You're clever, figure it out. Or if you don't have Apple, you must have a friend who's got an iPhone. Do it on their phone. Just go, let me borrow your phone for a minute. Promise you, I'm not going to look through your pics. I promise you, I promise you, I promise you, I promise you. Leave a review using their phone on the podcast app, right, for us. 5 stars if you can. That's the only one we want. And then submit, maybe have a quick look through their pics, then hand the phone back. These are just options, people. These are options. There's a few of my close friends who listen to this podcast who still haven't left a review. Cool. I do mention it at the beginning of every episode, but yeah, nice one. Yeah, no, carry on. Yeah, anyway, this is episode 31. If you'd like to support us even more, you could visit the Patreon, patreon.com/Pottervision. What else can I say? Nothing. Anyway, here's episode 31.
Pottervision, Pottervision, Pottervision. Pottervision.
Hello, and welcome to the Pottervision podcast, the podcast where every single week, for us on a Sunday, for you on a Monday, Tom Lawrenson and myself, Lukas Kirkby, we read a chapter of the Harry Potter books and use that as a skeleton for a podcast episode. This week, it's episode 31. We're on book 2, chapter 14, can you believe?
Can you believe it's been 31 episodes?
Oh, I can't.
What a slog.
What a slog it's been. And if we did every chapter in the books, we worked out it would be 199 episodes. So only 168 to go. It's chapter 14 of book 2, Cornelius Fudge.
The title of this chapter's got me a bit hungry.
Oh, yes. Hope there aren't any more chocolate-based chapter titles. So I don't want you being distracted.
Licking my lips, salivating. My trousers, they're black, but they're covered in drool marks because I keep drooling all down myself and the stains won't come out. And I've only got one pair of trousers. No one will walk round next to me.
Thank goodness, this is what you're like with Fudge. I'm hoping there isn't a chapter coming up for me called Sylvester Roast Dinner, because that would have me drooling the same.
Johnny McDonald's.
Oh, Johnny McDonald's. I'd love that chapter in a Harry Potter book. Who is Johnny McDonald's? Tom, how have you been this week?
I've been all right. Been working from home. It's been nice pottering around my own house. It's funny when you get a house because you kind of look around going, hey, all this stuff belongs to me. This is my responsibility. Woke up the other morning, right?
Oh, yeah.
I beat the rooster.
Well done.
I ran to the window. I woke him up.
Yeah.
Right, he pecked me on the finger. Right, so I was walking downstairs. Thump, thump, thump.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like every man, when I wake up in the morning, I go and check the doorstep, the front door.
Yeah.
Open the front door, and my steps and my little path leading to the gate is covered in muck.
Oh!
It had gone from being perfectly clean to covered in muck. We're talking mud, leaves, moss, all scattered about. It's on top of my bins as well.
Right.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
Right? I'm like, what is this? Is this an attack?
Yeah.
So I look at my neighbour's doorstep,
Yeah.
Clean as you like.
Oh.
Look at the other neighbour's doorstep. Clean as you like. I'm like, what is happening here?
Yeah.
I leave.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I'm nude. I'm walking the streets trying to figure out what's happened. Someone picks me up and I go elsewhere. Come back later in the afternoon, the muck is still there.
Yeah.
My neighbour comes out. I go, what do you think of all this? He said, I think it's the birds in the guttering.
Yeah.
There's birds on the roofs, like throwing muck down.
Yeah.
And I'm like, a likely story.
Yeah, I like this story. That would be my guess.
But it's not on his doorstep.
Well, like the birds and that might not be above his house.
So I get a broom and I clean it up.
Yeah.
And it had me thinking, Lucas.
Yeah.
It had me thinking of a story about my grandmother that I was told.
Yeah.
Her doorstep, right, this man would walk his dog.
Yeah.
And every day he'd let his dog wee on her front gate.
You joking?
Yeah. It was annoying her that much. So
Yeah,
she'd
yeah.
have to go out, and she'd... Back in the olden days where people took pride of their doorstep.
Yeah, yeah.
She'd wash it away. One day, she sat there waiting for the man, holding a bucket of water.
Yeah.
He comes up and he goes, you better not be thinking of throwing that on my dog.
Yeah.
She goes, it's not for the dog.
Yeah. It's for you.
Yeah.
Did she do it?
No, he didn't. He dragged the dog away and he didn't wee there.
Good.
But
You can't blame the dog. It's always the owner, isn't it?
you can blame... Should people have dogs? I put it to you.
Yes.
Should dogs exist?
Yes. Dogs.
Should we keep breeding dogs so they're ill? Do you know what I mean? These pedigrees, what's going on with them?
Are they ill? What are you talking about?
Well, it's uncomfortable for some of them to breathe.
Oh, like the little pug things.
Yeah, and them dachshunds, what are they called? Dachshunds.
Dachshund.
However you pronounce it.
Yeah,
their
sausage dog.
their spines hurt.
Do they? 'Cause
Yeah.
people are breeding them like that.
You're not meant to be a sausage, are you?
No,
The dog's meant to be a dog, not a sausage.
Oh, are they going to slowly evolve into a sausage till people are just walking around with a frankfurter on a leash?
Well, I hope they do, because that's the only way I'm going to get a dog in my mouth.
My goodness.
Can't speak for you, can't speak for you.
Oh, no.
Yeah, what do you think about that tale? An old woman standing up for her doorstep.
I love it. It reminds me of that idea of a cup of cold piss
What?
that people used to have. It used to be a thing, I think, where people used to have a cup of cold piss on the by the door. And then if ever they had like an unwelcome visitor, like somebody trying to sell them something, they chuck a cup of cold piss on them and get rid of them, and they never return.
Mr. Kirkby,
Yeah.
have you lost your mind? Because I'll
I'll
help
help you find it.
No one has ever been keeping a cup of cold piss.
Right, listeners, if you've ever had a cup of cold piss by your door and you've
What are you
used
talking
it
about?
to throw at unwelcome
What are you talking about?
Alright, you just keep it by the front door for unwelcome visitors. And then if an unwelcome visitor comes in and goes, hey, let me sell you these dustbusters.
So I come round your house, right?
You get warm piss, you're welcome.
Invited, right?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Can I come in? You're
Yeah.
like, yeah, I come in. Welcome to my home.
Yeah.
I go, what's this cup here on the windowsill?
Cold piss.
Right, why? Was the toilet busy?
No, it's for unwelcome visitors. You just chuck a bit of cold piss on them.
Okay. This is where I leave and never talk to you again, because it's obvious you've lost your mind and no one can help you find it.
Look, it's not me with a cup of cold piss. This is people in the olden days, like the 50s or the 60s.
That's the olden days.
Yeah.
Back in the glory days when people had the best manners in the world, they were throwing piss about.
Baby boom, hippies, cups of cold piss. It's the trinity of the 60s.
I hate it. Now, Mr. Kirkby, what have you been up to this week?
I've been up to this week. Well, last week for us was the 12th of April when restrictions were eased. Not only can you now go to shops that are not essential, unessential shops, but we can also travel to other countries of the British Isles. So I went to visit my family in Wales.
So you got on a boat, went to the Isle of Man.
Yeah. And I
Rowing
got
there.
there.
Splash.
A toothless man rowed us over. We went in the shack on the sea. It was lovely.
Yeah.
And it was lovely. We went to Angel Bay, which is near the Little Orme in Llandudno.
Oh my
And we climbed up the hill and we saw some seals. There's a spot where seals sunbathe and swim around the cove, and you can see the seals.
How close can you get to them?
Not very close. You're not allowed to go near where they are, but you are up on a cliff and you can see the seal with the naked eye.
Could you throw a can of Coke at one?
No, you couldn't throw it that far.
Unopened?
Maybe. I was thinking of an empty can, but unopened, yeah, I think so, actually. I think the weight of the liquid would launch it further. Yeah, so very nice. There were about 3. There were 2 swimming about in the ocean, and there was 1 sunbathing on the rocks.
Now, last week you told us a tale of how you narrowly avoided some bird mess.
Oh yes, Patreon listeners.
Oh, was that on the Patreon?
Yes, will have listened to this story, where in episode 4 I mentioned that I went to Chester, and I was inches away from a big mucky bird bath.
Say no more. If you want to hear that story, listeners, go to our Patreon. It was a delightful story, and I can't get over it myself.
With all due respect, you're listening to this for free. You're not getting that premium story of me nearly getting shat on by a seagull. Head over to the Patreon, donate some money, and you'll be able to hear that lovely story. Now, Tom.
What?
Are you ready? Are you steady? Are you going to hear me rundown?
Absolutely. Please, let me hear an uninterrupted rundown.
Hey, I'm looking forward to it. Chapter 14, Cornelius Fudge. They're talking about Hagrid. Could he have had the monster? Could he have done? We're only 5 seconds into the rundown. Now, I had to have a chat with Tom last week because it genuinely, when he's being daft and when he's being silly...
I didn't say anything.
No, when he's being daft, it does distract me and fluster me, and my rundowns have been very bad this book. But he promised not to interrupt.
And I didn't.
I've just been looking at a tortured soul. He has squirmed. He's had his hands over his arms across to stop him from doing things. But I respect the effort.
Right, start again. I'm listening.
All right, so he's putting his t-shirt over his head. Hagrid, could he have done it? He wasn't meant to kill anyone, Harry thinks, but he could have had the monster. They're choosing their school subjects. What will we do next year? But suddenly, Harry is told by Neville Longbottom that his diary has been stolen. Tom Riddle's diary, and they've ruined all of his property and his things. Next day, it's the Quidditch match, but just before they're about to go against Hufflepuff, McGonagall walks onto the field and says, "The Quidditch match has been cancelled. Everybody back to your common rooms." There's been a double attack. A Ravenclaw girl and, Hermione Granger. That's right. And they have to have new school rules. There's a quarantine at 6 o'clock. No extracurricular activities. You have to go to the toilet with a member of staff. But they decide that they're going to have to speak to Hagrid, see what he thinks. They get the invisibility cloak on, and Harry and Ron go to Hagrid's shack. Hagrid's looking a bit nervous, and he's right to do so, because he is visited by none other than the Minister of Magic himself, Cornelius Fudge, who says that Hagrid is going to be taken to Azkaban prison because they think he's got something to do with the attacks. Next thing, Lucius Malfoy turns up, and Dumbledore is being sacked. He's being suspended as headmaster of Hogwarts. Now, Dumbledore gives a bit of a clue. Hagrid says, "Follow the spiders." And Harry and Ron are left in the shack with Fang under the invisibility cloak. And that was Cornelius Fudge. Thank you so much, Tom.
Was it easy looking at the headless man?
It was easier than normal. And I know how hard that was for you.
Did you prefer the me without a head? Is that how you would prefer me?
Yeah. For that 2 minutes, yes.
Completely headless Tommy Laurie.
Completely headless? How can you be completely headless? Oh, very good, very good. What a chapter, I'm going to say. What a chapter.
You'd say so, would you?
Would you?
No.
No, you wouldn't.
It was an okay chapter.
Okay.
The last chapter left off
Yeah.
with Tom Riddle saying that Hagrid opened the Chamber of Secrets. And so now the boys have taken that as gospel.
Yes.
Of course he has.
Yeah.
Of course it's Hagrid.
Yeah.
It's certain then. Hagrid loves monsters.
Yeah.
Of course Hagrid would set a monster on Muggle-born children to kill them.
Well, they're like that. Yeah, they think, oh, Hagrid definitely had a monster, but didn't mean for it to kill anybody. That's what they think. And they seem to have a big, strong faith in Hagrid's good nature, even as a child. And I think, well, how well do they actually know Hagrid? I know they do see him every time for a cup of tea and stuff. Mm-hmm. But how certain could you be that he is good and he wouldn't do these awful things?
Very true. You don't know how well can you know someone that they wouldn't do, because this guy, he has got a track record of unleashing animals in the school.
Yeah, he has. Yeah.
So you think, maybe it was him.
You know, I don't blame them for thinking all these things. Yeah, you know, we've had a three-headed dog, we've had Norbert the Norwegian Ridgeback. Why not a big tarantula?
However, he does have Dumbledore's complete confidence, doesn't he?
Yeah. Dumbledore's cuckoo bananas as well.
Mm-hmm. Must have been him, yeah. Unlike trustworthy Tom Riddle, you know, thank you for giving us this information that it was him, Tom Riddle. You know, like, you're like the most believable source I could ever, you know, imagine to meet, you know. Who wouldn't trust a man who cut his soul into 7?
Look, the diary told me it was Hagrid, and I believe the diary. What are you talking about, Harry? You believe the diary? The diary told me and showed me. Have you been having mushrooms or something, Harry? What have you... You say you fell into a diary. You saw Hagrid as a teenager. You say you saw an 8-legged monster. This is a hallucination you've had. It was all in black and white, you're telling us now.
Last night I fell into a book. It was black and white. Aha were there.
Aha. Harry Hill was there doing a spoof for Comic Relief. And look, Dumbledore, it was 50 years ago, but he looked exactly the same. I don't believe you, Harry.
Hermione's like, Riddle might have the wrong person. No, Hermione, it's Hagrid. He's guilty. He's guilty. I read it in a book I found in the toilet. He's guilty.
And then they say, why don't we have a chat with him? Mm-hmm. Why don't we ask him? And they go, no. We'll wait till there's another attack.
Yeah, mental.
Yeah. You know,
act now. No, we'll have nothing on him. Maybe it'll be fine.
There's already been 5 attacks up until this point, I think. And it's like, why wait for another one? Like, all right, one more murder and then we'll do an investigation.
Yeah.
Because they know Hagrid, they think he's innocent, so ask him.
Yeah, they won't ask him. They won't ask anyone's help for anything.
No.
It's crazy.
It's very annoying.
When the idea of asking Hagrid is brought up, it's like dismissed instantly, where they go, oh yeah, let's just go up and ask him. Hello, Hagrid, have you been setting anything mad and hairy loose in the castle lately? Why, what have you heard? Don't tell Dumbledore, please.
It was just me, walking around naked at midnight.
Anything mad and hairy.
It's me. It is Hagrid Austin. That monster looks like Hagrid.
Yeah.
It is Hagrid Austin. I want to ask, why has there been such a long break of attacks? Because according to this, we're in like the Easter holidays, aren't we? And there's been no attack since Christmas.
Why? He wants to know why. Why? Gonna tell you why. Because the diary's now in Harry's possession. You need the diary to open the chamber, I think.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The diary's to do with it all. And then whoever it is gets the diary.
Yeah.
More attacks.
Oh. See, I've never really... See, this is terrible. I don't really understand how the plot of this book. I was thinking it was like the Tom Riddle ghost doing all this. But is it Ginny?
She's helping him. I think she's doing his bidding.
Doing the bit where she says and opens... yes, yeah. And opening up the diary.
Yes, sir. La la.
Open the door.
Open sesame.
It
is I, Hakzim, the humble thief.
I watched the new version of that a couple of weeks ago.
I hated it.
I enjoyed it, actually.
Did you?
I like Will Smith as the genie.
I didn't.
No. But I did.
I didn't like how muscular he was.
I did.
Did
Lovely.
you? Oh, I hated it. And it wasn't funny, and I didn't like the dancing. And the colours just like the orange and the blue.
Oh, tell you, I'm never watching that film again. The orange and the blue in the colour scheme was offensive to me. The brightness, the hue, was horrendous.
And I don't like an actual monkey. Give me more of an animated monkey.
Yeah.
Because animals, they can't express anything with their face.
I think that's why a lot of people had problems with the new Lion King film. Because all the animals didn't have, like, funny cartoon faces. They just looked normal. And then they had all these emotions. But it's like, those animals aren't thinking those things.
Yeah.
They need to have a funny cartoon face.
I know, that's what I think.
Yeah. I don't think, like, a young lion cub in real life is like, oh, I wonder if I'll be as good as my dad. But will I ever be that mighty a king?
They don't, I don't think it's about animals. They don't really think that they are royalty.
No. That's the thing. They just think, where's my next meal coming from?
They aren't aware of the pecking order.
No, exactly. But that makes sense with the diary. I was assuming maybe the basilisk had been on a secondment to Durmstrang. Doing a few attacks there, spreading its wings a bit.
In the castle,
Yeah.
it is time for their GCSE choices.
Oh, yeah. But before we get to that, can I mention something?
Go on.
This running gag about the mandrakes being almost human-like in their developments. Right? He says, hey, they're nearly ready. They threw a loud and raucous party in Greenhouse 3. They're like turning into students, aren't
Oh,
they?
really?
Throwing a house party. And Professor Sprout says, the moment they start trying to get into each other's pots, we'll know they're fully mature.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I did not... First, when I heard and read that,
Yeah.
I was like, I think they're just messing around. But you've made me realise these mandrakes be horny.
Yeah. Thorny, thorny, thorny. Getting twiggy with it.
We're thorny.
Hey, honestly, I think that's genuinely what they're alluding to.
These mandrakes have gotten full Austin Powers.
They have,
They've
haven't they?
developed a mojo.
Yeah. and they're using it. Horny bait, do I make you handy?
So that must make the basilisk Dr. Evil. Because it's, they're going to use it to, the mandrakes to restore life back to the petrified students.
The basilisk is... Well, I think Tom Riddle's Dr. Evil. The basilisk is Frau Farbissina.
Mm-hmm.
Bring in the globe!
Very good.
Thank you very much. But yeah, I thought it was a bit... For a children's book to allude to plants having sex... Thought that was a bit rude.
But it's time for their students to choose what subjects they will be taking next year.
Yes. So they have to do all of the subjects they already do. So they already study astronomy, charms, defence against the dark arts, herbology, history of magic, potions, and transfiguration. And they have flying lessons. Now you have to choose a minimum of 2 subjects from the following. I want to know what you're choosing. You can either choose arithmancy, which is
Minimum
like
of 2.
magic numbers, care of magical creatures, divination, muggle studies, and the study of ancient runes.
Right, I'm already a muggle,
Yeah,
so
you're not bothered about
I'm
that.
fully to do with
Yeah.
all muggle subjects.
Yeah,
Magic numbers,
you choose that. No?
maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it could help
Yeah.
get you... Start getting some lottery numbers written down. You know what I mean? Could help you towards that. Some lucky numbers.
Uh-huh.
So got that one so far. Arithmancy. What is it?
Yeah, arithmancy, yeah.
Arithmancy.
Care of magical creatures, would you take that?
No.
Wouldn't you? I think I'd take that because it's just a bit different, just because you're outside. It feels to me like...
Yeah, that would feel nice.
You break the day up a bit, just going into a
one of them
clearing.
messing around ones.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
People who do PE for GCSE or A level or something.
Yeah. It'd be our equivalent of like woodwork or something.
Yeah.
Practical subject. Divination,
What's divination?
That's looking
Fortune
into the
telling.
crystal ball and tea leaves and stuff, yeah. Waste of time. And a lot of wizards frown on that, thinking it's a waste of time as well. Muggle studies. For me, it'd be arithmancy, because I like numbers anyway. Care of magical creatures, that's my minimum too. But I think I'd also like to study ancient runes. Sounds interesting to me.
Yeah.
You know, like magic stones, and they've got like symbols and stuff.
Is Hagrid going to go on to teach Care of Magical Creatures?
Yes,
Or
I
is that a
believe next
different
year.
role he teaches?
He doesn't teach anything at the minute, but I believe next year he starts to teach Care of Magical Creatures.
Who is teaching it before him then? That they're already offering it?
There's
Or
a man called Professor Sylvanus Kettleburn, who we actually read about in last week's Tales of Beedle the Bard that we were recording. He's only got 1.5 limbs left, apparently, because he got into so many accidents to do with animals or misdemeanours at work.
Look at this brain on you.
What?
Amazing. To know about Kettleburn.
Yeah, Sylvanus Kettleburn.
Bloody hell.
And if anyone ever wants to play the Harry Potter Hogwarts mystery game, it's set before Harry Potter, and you see that teacher in it, and you see Professor Quirrell as a Muggle Studies professor. It's quite interesting.
Very good. So that's what you'd pick?
Yeah,
Ancient
arithmancy,
runes.
Care of Magical Creatures, and Ancient Runes.
So what are you going for?
Those 3.
Oh, right, you go. Oh, right. For some reason, I thought you could only take 2. Yeah, take at least 2.
Minimum of 2, because Hermione decides to take all of them.
Yeah, why not?
Exactly. Like Harry and Ron, it doesn't actually say what they picked. It just says Harry chooses the same as Ron.
Bad choice.
Yeah, idiot.
Terrible. Boys, you're both going to do badly now because you're both not going to try. When you go in somewhere already having a mate, there's no risk.
Yeah.
You're not going to put yourself out there and really they're just going to do badly together.
Yeah, because his reasoning is, if he gets stuck, he'll have someone friendly to help him.
Any lesson where I've like sat next to someone like a mate or someone I've fancied, I've done badly.
Yeah. It's never going to be good. You need to be focusing on
And
your
I can
studies.
tell from the way these words are written, Harry fancies Ron.
He fancies him. He's always going round to his house. He's always fiddling about with his broken wand.
They share a bedroom together. What GCSE choices did you take?
I chose double science.
Double science, the double science, double science. Go on.
French, Spanish, and history. Those were my 4 GCSE subjects. And then for A-level,
Amazing.
I did maths.
Whoa, we're not
What?
doing A-level right now.
What?
We're doing GCSE.
Yeah,
Let me tell you what I took.
go on.
French and Spanish.
Yeah,
History.
yeah,
I had to do double science anyway.
yeah.
But I also had drama.
Oh, yeah.
Let's play about that.
That's funny that we did the same subjects at school.
Yeah, that's...
Well, I never did drama. People always expected me to do drama. But because I did drama outside of school, and I did like Lambda exams, which are like the performance version of music exams. So instead of like, so if you learn to play the piano, you do like 3 pieces and then some scales for an exam.
Yeah.
But in drama, you'd learn, like for instance, there was an exam called the Speaking of Verse and Prose. And in like the gold medal exam, you'd do a poem, a bit from a book, and then a sonnet, a Shakespearean sonnet. You'd perform them and you'd get graded on it.
I think we spoke about this last week briefly.
Yeah, maybe we did. Very boring.
But yeah.
But yeah, so I didn't want to do drama because I felt like I was doing the same thing twice and I felt like it was a waste of time. And I didn't like, because I went to a Welsh school, I was a bit annoyed at the fact that they did Shakespeare in Welsh. And for me, it was like, why would you translate it? Just do it in the language it was written in.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when you translate popular songs, they don't quite sound right, do they, in a different language?
Who's ever doing that? I don't think anyone's ever doing that.
Well, I'll tell you about...
It's like when you translate a popular song. What? When?
Well, no, there's always like other countries' versions of sort. Like for instance, you know the song 99 Red Balloons. Mm-hmm. Well, that was a German song originally. It was written in German. Exactly. And obviously my girlfriend Martina's from Germany.
Do you know the ketchup song?
I
said, the head to the head and said, he know what I...
had a boogie beat.
Do you know what they're singing about?
What?
That song that's like this. I said a hip hop, the hippie dibby hip hop. I don't stop. The boogie the beat. You know that one?
Yeah.
They're singing about remembering that song, but not knowing the actual lyrics. So they're going, I said a hair, ha, the hair to the hair, said he know what, a hammer and the boogie with he.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's what that's about.
But what they don't realise is that song doesn't make sense in English.
He's right.
He's right. It don't make any sense.
Right.
But she was saying it's hard for her to listen to the English version of 99 Red Balloons.
Who was saying this?
Martina.
Oh! Yeah, go on.
Because it just sounds weird in a different language.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Then I put to you that we tie Martina into a chair and we play the English version of that song indefinitely until she comes round to it.
Good. I will do that this week. And I will update you next week on how that's gone.
On whether we're still together or not.
Hey!
We're both in the insane asylum.
Well, yeah. So that'd be mine. What would your choices be? So you're thinking, you're definitely doing arithmancy.
Mm-hmm.
Would you take care of magical creatures as well?
I do arithmancy and care magical creatures. I just do two and try my best at, making the most out of them.
Because actually, you're already doing a lot.
Actually, man, year 8, do you need to do that? You can do them all. What's the
Yeah.
difference? Just do badly at them all, get a taste of it all.
But you think you're already doing you're doing a lot already, like astronomy, charms, defending the dark arts, herbology, history, magic, potions, transfiguration. You're already doing 7 subjects core. Whereas in the UK, core. Whereas in the UK, you only do English, maths, and science, and sometimes RS, depending on what school you're in, as a core subject. So 4 core subjects. You have to do 7 here, plus an extra 2, minimum of 9 subjects. Hermione chooses them all, and I don't know how she's going to get round to all those lessons and do all those. She needs some kind of time travel device or something to attend them all.
She'll find a way.
Will she?
I don't want to spoil anything.
Did your Neville is getting letters from his family, all telling him different ideas of what he should take? Did you ever get a bit of pressure on your family of like, oh, you should be taking this subject, you should be doing this at university or anything like that?
Probably, and it led me to doing. I don't know. Don't remember. How about you?
Not really. I think they were like, you do you choose what you want to do. I do think my mum was very proud that I went on to do maths at university. I think that made her a proud mummy that I did that. But in general, they were like, as long as you're happy, you choose what you want to do. I think to them it doesn't matter what you do as long as you're trying your best in that subject or in that topic, which is very nice.
That's very nice. Neville's getting them letters. And then they pick their things. And Harry, he goes up to his room to find that his room in his area has been trashed, doesn't he?
Oh,
Papers all on the floor.
horrible.
His bed's messed up.
Yeah.
His cloak has been ripped. Why?
Well, there's a lot of unnecessary vandalism here.
Ripping pages out of a book.
Yeah.
Like, if you're looking for a book, it won't be in between pages of another book.
Where's this diary? Is it between page 2 and 3 or Travels with Trolls? Yeah, it just seems to have been a weird, frenzied search rather than just actually having a look.
You don't need to tear things.
No.
And it seems the diary was with Harry's books.
Yeah.
First thing I'd do is find Harry's books and take the one that says Tom Riddle's diary on it.
Take the one that's got the.
Or maybe she found it first and
Yeah.
then was like, I should probably trash this place as well.
Yeah. It is odd, but I think because it reminded me of a very sad event that happened in our first year at the Fringe. Yeah, on the last day of our first ever run at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, we were about 5-10 minutes before doing the show. We opened the suitcase. We have a suitcase full of props to check that everything was in there. We open the suitcase and everything is not where it should be.
And missing.
And someone had stolen my
Camcorder.
My video camera.
And
And then we had to do an hour show where I was.
we were just sad. We were performing a comedy show, sad for an hour.
Yeah.
And we did it, these sad faces on, trying to be funny. And at the end we went, sorry about this one, guys. It's just we feel a bit low because we were robbed before the show. And everyone was like, oh.
Yeah, we told everybody, didn't we?
Yeah, some of them might have thought it was a really strange bucket speech.
Imagine, I'm going to come back and see that show again, and then we say the same story. Someone stole our camera today. They're lying! We say that every time. But yeah, it was really horrible, because I remember I had a couple of friends coming to watch it as well. And I remember them saying afterwards you didn't seem right. And it was just like, we'd been robbed 10 minutes before actually doing a show.
Yeah.
So yeah. So if you're a rival Harry Potter parody show and you want to spoil our performers, just steal something from us before the show and it will put us off.
Or just give me a funny look.
Yeah.
That can send me askew for a week.
That's true. Yeah, just one comment, a review that has one piece of criticism.
Sit in the audience and maybe whoop at a wrong point, laugh at a wrong point, and hell, I'm gone, baby.
Laugh too loud, crunch your crisps. Hey, the hour's gone. The show's dead.
Look sad.
If you're not coming in smiling for the whole hour consecutively, laughing heartily at every joke, we don't want you there.
I reserve the right to point at audience members and say, what's your problem?
Yeah.
I reserve that right.
And he does so regularly. But yeah.
What an invasion of privacy.
Horrible, yeah.
He's had his room torn to shreds.
Yeah.
Right? If that was me, it would have had me in a very bad mood. It's a very uncomfortable feeling, someone going through your stuff. I think my parents rooted around in my bedroom when I was at school when I was a kid.
Do you?
Yeah.
I'm wondering about that. I think they probably used to go in. I know my mum used to go in just with like laundry and stuff, and she'd probably spot things. But my bedroom was very tidy. I was quite a tidy boy. Nothing to hide. Yeah. No, but I didn't really mind that. But they go, and it could only have been a Gryffindor, because only a Gryffindor would know the password. Guys. A couple of months ago, you were in the Slytherin common room. Why can't other people do that?
Exactly.
They're mad, aren't they?
Who's to think Crab and Goyle haven't been brewing a little polyjuice potion for the past 3 months, to go into the Gryffindor common room and get revenge after being knocked out, identity stolen, and their shoes removed.
Yeah, Harry and Ron, it could only have been a Gryffindor that done this. Wait a minute, Harry and Ron. Don't you remember at the Easter parade? You ate 2 pork pies and then woke up in the baths. Oh yeah. What's that all about?
With a clumpy head shaven. when they came in, when everyone's discovering that the room is all messed up.
Yeah.
He says, Dean walked in and Dean swore loudly. What did he say? He swore loudly. Dean walks in, sees a bed that's not his, trashed. Fuck!
There's a lot of swearing in this chapter. I think Ron swears later on.
Tits!
When he stubs his toe. Yeah, a lot of swearing. And yeah, again, we've been critical of J.K. Rowling's lack of, specificity in these chapters.
Yeah.
And
what swear is it, J.K.?
What is it?
Was it 6 or 7? What was it?
Is it arse? Is it bubble?
She was vague at the borough. What was she vague
6 or 7 sausages. 4 or 5 bloody gnomes were thrown over the edge.
Keep track.
Oh, Ron said tits. Could have been arse. I don't know.
Hermione urged Harry to report the robbery.
Yeah.
He did not want to because that would involve him having to tell someone the truth for once.
Yeah, would it? Oh, why would you have to tell the truth? I found an old diary.
What was stolen? Diary. Whose was it? Don't want to say. You never want to say, dear.
Never want to say.
You're a bad boy.
He's a bad boy, dirty boy. In your bed on your rug. Outside. It's odd, isn't it? And I know it's a plot device so that we reach the climax and we don't get adults involved and it's fun and it's kids solving the mystery. But Harry, tell somebody what's going on. Even if they don't listen to you, I'd have preferred that.
So, morning of the Quidditch match, right?
Oh, yeah.
Morning of the Quidditch, great day. It's a fantastic day.
Yeah.
The sun is shining, there's a breeze. Perfect day for Quidditch. On the way, Harry hears the basilisk again. Kill, kill.
Kill this time. Let me rip.
And instead of following that,
Yeah.
goes, nothing I can do. Just going to have to let someone be petrified. I've got a Quidditch game to play.
Every time he's heard that voice in the past, somebody's been attacked.
Yeah.
And he doesn't mention a sausage to anybody.
I don't understand why this one, he just ignores it completely.
Yeah. It's, I don't know, his head's in a shed at the minute. Why is Quidditch so important? It's just like school.
It's all he's got. It's the best thing he's good at.
Yeah.
And then also you got Wood pressuring everyone.
You better get that snitch or die trying.
We're going to practice every day. Every day. Are you mental? I'm meant to be doing homework.
Yeah.
This is exhausting.
Yeah. If you're not there on time, someone better have been killed in an attack.
And Wood, you're booking the Quidditch pitch every day of the week. That is
Yeah.
not fair on the other teams.
Yeah, the other teams who are like flying over the lake. Because there's no other room anywhere else. Oh, we've lost 4 bludgers in the lake this week.
So they go up, kind of start playing Quidditch, and McGonagall, half marching, half running.
I want to see that. I want to see Maggie Smith doing that.
She's booking! She's booking!
Left, right, left, right, left, right. She's running. Is she marching? What's she doing?
I'll put her in the recovery position. Quidditch is cancelled.
Yeah.
This game is cancelled, right? Hogwarts is in frenzy. Now, normally, the previous year, the events like the mystery was completely contained to these 3 students, wasn't it?
Yeah, nobody knew, did they?
They were the only, to everyone else, they were in a blissful little year.
Yeah.
Only these 3 had the mystery to solve. Now, every student, more or less, is vulnerable to being attacked.
Yes.
Very scary. Hogwarts is essentially now in lockdown.
Essentially, they are, and it's that. I think that's this escalation that we'll find in the books, where the first story was just Harry, Ron, and Hermione. Something's been stolen. Someone's trying to get a stone. Blah blah blah. Now the whole school's in danger. You know, everyone's in danger, and eventually we'll see that kind of expansion into the whole wizarding world being at peril in the final few books. It's just the idea that if you're going to make 7 books, there's got to be an increase of stakes as you go on, because you don't want to be reading this going, oh, this isn't as much of a problem as last year. If last year was the whole school are being killed by a monster, and this year is someone's trying to steal something, you'd be like, well, that's a bit of an anticlimax to last year's problem. It's got to be building up. But I want to. McGonagall comes out, tells everyone it's cancelled. It's always McGonagall that's the bearer of bad news. Dumbledore is in the staff room going, oh, well, we've got to tell the children that they're no Quidditch and they'll have to be quarantined. You tell them, McGonagall, I want them to like me. He don't want to be the bad egg telling the bad news. He has to divvy the bad jobs out to the lower staff.
I worry if I tell them they won't laugh at my stand-up routine at assembly.
Look, I've really built up a rapport this year with my speeches. I don't want to lose them.
It's too superstitious.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, it's completely random, Dumbledore, as to whether people are going to laugh at you saying giggle, gwop, and scump.
And then, so McGonagall takes Harry and Ron. She says, you better come with me, boys.
Better come with you too, Weasley.
You too, Weasley. You better come and see this.
They start running.
I love that she takes them. And ignore me. I was thinking Hermione was Ron.
Oh, do you?
And I was thinking, why didn't she call the other Weasleys?
Oh, yeah.
Why would she? But she goes, come with me, boys. Come and see. And she shows Hermione in the bed. And have you written this down? Ron groans. Oh, how inconvenient. Can't believe this has happened.
Groaned for me. Oh.
Oh, slumped in his chair. What's up with you? Oof. Friend's nearly dead. Oh, can't believe that. The day I've had. Oh, the day I've had, Harry. Oh, Quidditch match cancelled. Oh, friend in hospital bed, in a coma.
It would only happen to me, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It would only happen to me.
Do you know what? I was having a nice day as well. My one nice day of the week, I thought, this is a nice day. Ruined by this. Oh, groan. Oh, Hermione, why did you go do that to me?
Now who am I going to say mean things to? Now whose ideas am I going to ignore?
Who am I going to ridicule about trying to solve this mystery?
Who am I going to put down relentlessly?
Oh,
It'll have to be you, Harry.
specky twats. It ain't started already.
Hermione has been petrified, right? Boys, there's no ignoring the danger at hand now.
Yeah.
You know? No, maybe if there's another one. Now you got to go and speak to Hagrid.
Yeah.
You're in lockdown.
Yeah.
Haven't you?
And that suits your theory. Now that the diary is back in the possession of somebody else, there's been an attack. You complimented me on my wits before, my cleverness. But you are shining through.
Oh!
I'm theoretically clever, but you've got the common sense. You've got the intuition, the instinct of where the plot is heading to. And it's quite arousing, may I say.
McGonagall is in the Gryffindor common room, yeah?
Yes, goodness.
Making a speech. She said, the school may be closed unless someone can come forward with any information about whoever's doing this. Harry looks around, saying nothing, smiling, knowing most of all than anyone. You know, I guess they're going to close the school.
Yeah.
How funny.
It's like, it's just gone ridiculous now, hasn't it? Fair enough, the first few times you're hearing a funny voice, you think, oh, that's going to be a bit weird, better not tell anybody about that. Harry, we're past that now. You are basically putting the whole school at risk of being shut down, people at risk of being murdered, because you don't want to be embarrassed. You know, why did you never come forward? Oh, it's a bit weird, isn't it, hearing voices?
It's just a bit, you know... It's a bit weird hearing a voice and then moments after someone dying.
A bit weird for you, is it?
A
bit uncomfortable for you, is it, Harry Potter? When people are being petrified and dying in the hospital. Oh!
Does anyone know anything about Tom Riddle's diary?
It's a bit weird reading diary, isn't it? No, it's not, Harry. Just tell us.
Just
tell us what's been going on.
It's a bit weird reading a diary. I didn't want anyone to think I was soft for writing in a diary.
Yeah.
It's not a normal diary.
Look, people are thinking that I've had a hallucinogenic experience. I don't want to share that with teachers. I don't want to be telling adults that that's happened.
Having that, you know, people knowing that about me, and it'll forever follow me around.
Harry, look at the big picture. My favourite rule that is now in place is you cannot go to the bathroom without a teacher accompanying you. And I'm just imagining Snape looking the other way when you're in the urinals.
That's
standing there awkwardly.
To have to tell a teacher when you want to, you know, do a bodily function. Yeah.
Yeah.
In year 5, some kids had been messing around with the toilet roll, right, in the toilets.
Yeah.
Throwing it about, yeah?
Yeah.
Wetting it, throwing it at the ceiling.
Yeah.
Know, flushing it all down the toilet.
Yeah.
So they did like a toilet roll ban.
Oh!
They took all the toilet roll,
Yeah.
and they handed it like to the teachers. And if you were a student, a boy, I think, you would have to ask for some toilet roll if you wanted to go to the toilet.
Oh my God.
In front of the whole class. How insane is that?
That is ridiculous.
How embarrassing.
And if you're having, without getting too crude, a number 2, you don't know how much toilet roll you're going to need. Were they giving you like a certain amount of squares? Were they giving you the toilet roll? What was the deal?
They'd tear off some squares. And if my memory's correct, 4.
4 for a potential poo.
Well, it's a child.
That's true. And childs don't poo as much as adults.
Depends on the child.
Depends on the child. But, yeah, it's very odd, the idea, because as far as I know, the common rooms don't have toilets.
They should.
Do you think they do?
No, they don't.
No, they don't. So someone is waking up at 2 a.m, needing a wee, getting on the blower. Any teachers available? I need to go to the toilet. Is a teacher coming in the middle of the night to take a 17-year-old boy to the toilet and back?
Do you know what I'd be doing?
What?
I'd be going, I demand a chamber pot.
Yes. Yeah, 100%.
Harry Potter and the chamber pot of feces.
Harry Chamber Potter.
Yeah. So, well, they need to talk to Hagrid. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Harry says to Ron, "Time to get my dad's old cloak out again." What?
Oh, yeah.
What? Time to get my dad's old cloak out again. What are you saying?
Yeah. Well, it says Harry had inherited just one thing from his father, the invisibility cloak. What about millions of pounds? What about that straight black hair? What about that shit eyesight that you inherited from your dad? What about that sense of arrogance and hubris? You've inherited a lot from your dad, Harry.
The only thing I've inherited from me dad is this cloak that makes me invisible.
We'll take the lot. Bloody hell, got that from your parents, did you? No, I earned this. I earned all this. This is not from me dad. I remember somebody, I had a friend who won the lottery.
Whoa!
But he was in a syndicate. Right, they worked at the zoo and they were in a syndicate. Exactly, the monkeys got 64 grand, the elephants got 64 grand. They won 64 grand each, everyone in the syndicate.
Oh my,
£64,000. £64,000 each. And he went, and then about a few months later, I think he went on like a round the world trip. But I remember having a conversation with him going, was that with your lottery money? And he got annoyed going, I saved up. It wasn't to do with that.
That's funny.
And then he was just like, you can spend your lottery money, it doesn't matter. You've won the lottery, why wouldn't you spend it? There seemed to be, well then I suppose if you had saved it up over all these years and then someone was like, oh, I bet it was with the lottery money, was it? That you've gone on your round the world cruise.
I think it's a normal question to ask.
Yeah, I think so as well. Very odd.
They get into the cloak.
Oh yeah. This is my favourite bit of the chapter.
Go.
Ron stubs his toe when they're near Snape. There's teachers, ghosts, prefects patrolling the corridor. They're nearby Snape. Ron stubs his toe and swears. But luckily, he swore just as Snape sneezed.
And you know how Snape sneezes. Shit.
Headshot! Why wasn't that in the film? I want to see that scene where Ron is just going bollocks just as Snape does a sneeze.
Instead of these extra scenes where Harry's dangling out the car.
Yeah, why have they got that instead of Ron swearing while Snape does a sneeze? I'm going to ring up Christopher Columbus, the one who directed the films, not the one that discovered America, and I'm going to say, look, why is that taken precedent over the sneeze swearing scene? That's what I want to know.
They get to Hagrid's shack, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Goes in.
Yeah.
Before they can even sit down, there's another knock at the door.
Yeah.
Yeah? And it's Cornelius Fudge.
Oh, yeah.
What is Cornelius Fudge going to think if he finds out that Hagrid has got invisible children in his shack at night?
Yeah. I'm sorry, Hagrid. I'm going to have to take you to Azkaban prison. What? No, don't do that. I didn't let the monster loose. It wasn't because of me. No, Hagrid, it's not because of that. It's the fact that you are keeping two 12-year-old children in your shack at midnight under an invisibility cloak. All right. Fair enough.
Don't tell Dumbledore. I'm right here.
Hagrid, I'm here. I know what you've been doing. I know you use your brolly as a wand. I know that you have these children here. Oh, I've let you down.
Bad things always happen to Hagrid. So they're under the cloak.
Oh yeah.
Invisible. Fudge walks in.
Oh, pinstripe suits.
Yeah.
Scarlet tie.
He's looking good.
Long black cloak and pointed purple boots. Turns out Cornelius Fudge is a 1970s pimp.
If I came across Cornelius Fudge in the street, I'd go, "Hey, where are you going? Because you're dressed like a dickhead."
He's got a cane. He's got a necklace with the male and female symbols on it. He's got furry dice in his pink car.
Do diddly 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 do boo. And then so Ron spots him, yeah,
Yeah.
and he says, "That's Dad's boss," and it's written like this. That's Dad's boss. Ron breathed. I think it's funny to use breathed as a verb to talk. You know what I mean?
That's Dad's boss.
I tell you who I was breathing with the other day.
Oh, I was having a lovely breathe with my neighbour last week about the weather.
Me and Lukas did a 1.5 hour breathe on Sunday afternoon.
Hey guys, if you're enjoying us breathing about on the podcast, please give us 5-star review.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gives this impression that he's quite weak as a minister of magic. I think Fudge. He's making excuses for himself. He seems to be put under pressure to make this rash decision. I don't think Hagrid should be going to Azkaban at all. When there's no evidence for him doing anything this time round. What do you think?
Well, he'd been pinpointed as the one who opened the Chamber of Secrets last time, hadn't he?
Yeah.
So that's why.
Yeah.
They think, if to any parents, they'd go,
Yeah.
well, if the bloke who opened it last time is still on school grounds,
Yeah.
surely it's him again.
But surely that's just going to be suspended from Hogwarts.
But what is this Monopoly style rules of the Wizarding World? Go straight to jail? Like, he's got to go to prison now. How
Yeah.
about you take him just away from Hogwarts?
Suspend him from Hogwarts and do an actual investigation. There's been no investigation so far.
Yeah.
They're saying, right, we're going to put you in jail, and then we're going to find out if you did it. You know, it's just odd. I sentence you to 12 years in prison, unless in the meantime the investigation sees you as innocent.
And will there be an investigation?
No. All right. Handcuff me gently. But, yeah, very odd. And Ron just shouting out. He just can't keep his trap shut. And then Harry as well. Lucius Malfoy comes in later and Harry does an audible gasp.
Ah! What are you gasping at?
Yeah.
You recognise someone.
Yeah.
It's like in school, you know, in school, someone knocks on the door and comes in and all the kids' heads turn towards the door.
Yeah, yeah. But you don't make an audible gasp.
Yeah, so they're going to take Hagrid away, unfortunately, and another knock at the door.
Yeah.
3 knocks at the door, and it's been like 5 minutes' time.
Knock 3 times on the hood if you love me. Twice on the pipe. Do you know that song?
No, do you know what it reminds me of, though?
What?
Tie a yellow ribbon round the old
Oak
oak
tree.
tree. It's been 3... And that's about, if you still love me, tie a ribbon round a tree.
That I do it every time I come. You'll notice there are 31 ribbons round your front garden.
And what does it mean when someone leaves scat on your doorstep? What's that? Lucius comes in and he starts causing trouble, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah.
He goes, I thought I'd find you here in Hagrid's home at night. I've got a list here of 12 signatures saying that you have been suspended as head teacher of Hogwarts. Yeah?
This decision, I agree with. Dumbledore's done nothing.
All year.
He's done nothing all year to sort out these attacks. There doesn't seem to be any investigation. He's just sat idly by while these
And
things have
waited for
happened.
mandrakes to grow.
There are going to be mandrakes somewhere that are grown. Why are we like... Well, we better get these planted and growing from scratch.
I know.
Look, go to the local nurseries and buy a fully grown mandrake. Why are we waiting for Professor Sprout to... Because they take about 9 months to grow these mandrakes. Why aren't we popping to the herbology section of Sainsbury's and buying these fully grown mandrakes?
I know. How are the mandrakes getting on? They're horny. Great news!
Not even the mandrake, they just need like the liquid or whatever it is you get from them, the roots of the mandrake or whatever.
I would love to see, like, Dumbledore's, like, you know, performance review.
Yeah.
And what have you been doing about the, the attacks that have been going on? Well, I had McGonagall announce the bad news.
Yeah.
Right, what did you do? Midnight visit to Hagrid.
What does he do full stop? Because he doesn't teach any subjects. A lot of head teachers teach a couple of classes.
Yeah, does a bit of research and he's...
Yeah, research helps the ministry.
Organises the teachers,
Yeah, does the timetable for the year.
Gets bad people, get unreliable members of staff teaching Defence Against the Dark Arts.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, that's another thing.
And so, then Lucius Malfoy's in there causing trouble, right? He's causing trouble.
Oh, yeah.
He's making Hagrid kick off. Oh, Hagrid's rising to it, isn't he?
He knows what buttons to press.
Oh, he's like, what are you doing in my house? House? You call this a house? Oh, dear. Brilliant. Perfect.
Oh, Hagrid, I believe your brother's a bit of an idiot.
What you were saying about your app?
He's so easy to push, but then you've got to know, he knows what Lucius Malfoy's like. You've just got to keep you cool. But then I suppose if you had just been told you're going to prison, not Azkaban prison, Hagrid croaked.
Yeah, it's fun, so Dumbledore,
Yeah.
he then accepts his punishment.
Yeah.
And he goes, he says, he looks to the corner of the room and says, help will always be given at Hogwarts to those who ask for it. Waving and winking at the corner of
Yeah.
well, we've definitely made the right decision. He's lost his mind.
He's lost his mind. Well, to be fair to Dumbledore, his message to Harry and Ron is quite cryptic, I will only truly have left this school when none here are loyal to me. You will also find that help will always be given at Hogwarts to those who need it. Quite cryptic. Whereas Hagrid is just like, follow the spiders and feed Fang. All right, I'm ready to go. It's like Hagrid. You've got no his cryptic crossword.
And it'd be good if that washing up got done.
Hagrid setting the cryptic Sunday Times crossword. What starts with a D and is a dog? 3 letters.
Starts with a D and is a dog.
It's wide and in the sky and rain comes out of it. Starts with a C, ends in louds. Hagrid, you've got to be a bit more subtle with your hints.
Hagrid's kicking off saying, you can't get rid of Dumbledore. The killings will get worse if he leaves.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny that Lucius took the time to mock Hagrid.
Oh, he says killings.
In all of this.
Yeah.
He says, hopefully to Dumbledore,
Yeah.
your successor will prevent any killings.
That's so funny. I'm imagining him going fully blown with the accent. He's going, oh yes, I will remains to be seen if there'll be any more killings.
But well done to Lucius amongst all of this, because he's arrived at Hogwarts and he's gone into a very aggressive, antagonistic situation.
Yeah.
And he's staying so cool, managing to stir it, mock everyone, and he's completely, delivered what he set out to do. You've been suspended.
Yeah.
And
So
Dumbledore's accepted it. And not only that, he's treated everyone with respect. So Dumbledore said his magical nonsense to the corner of the room.
Yeah.
And then Lucius is like, I think we'll miss your weird way of doing things, you crackpot old fool. Yeah. And then at the end also, bowing.
Yeah.
At the end. What a gentleman.
What a gentleman. He has been a cucumber personified. Cool, calm, collected, and, fair play to him.
If I was going to have my job taken off me,
Yeah.
I'd want Lucius to be the man to do it.
Yeah, 100%. If I'm going to be sacked, I want that lovely blonde locks coming into the room to tell me.
But that's just me.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, right, you too.
Yeah.
All right, that's just us.
That's just us, by the way, if you don't mind me saying.
Yeah. Right. How many of Professor Snape's sneezes out of 5 are you giving this chapter?
Personally, I love this chapter. I enjoyed it. I think the I don't know what you call it, a double punch. I don't know what you call it, a right and a left, I don't know, of Hagrid going to Azkaban and Dumbledore being sacked in the last page of the book was of the chapter was very good cliffhanger for me. A hint of things are getting serious. Hermione has been petrified. It's just getting serious now, and I love that it almost feels like we're at dire straits and we've still got 4 chapters to go. There's a lot going on. I'm enjoying it. The diary's missing. Hermione's petrified. Hagrid's in prison. Dumbledore's sacked. I'm going to give it 5 Snape sneezes out of 5.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm going to...
Wow, wee. As Owen Wilson would say. Wow. For me, this chapter, a lot of silly things were happening, but unfortunately, the humour wasn't there for me.
No.
The ignorance was there.
Yep.
Everyone was being very ignorant, running down, doing silly things.
Do you need humour in every chapter? Is that what you look for?
I like a laugh.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it only came at the end with Lucius Malfoy.
Saying killings.
No, just being a snide, rich, slick-haired old fool. I'd like that on my gravestone, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, I wrote it down.
And for that reason, I'm going to give this chapter 2 of Professor Snape sneezes out of 5.
Very, very harsh.
Now, are you ready for an exciting segment new to this episode called Quiz? Quiz, quizzy, quiz, quizzy, quiz, 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 crew. Gonna ask you some questions. How well will you do? Quiz, quizzy, quiz, quizzy, quiz, 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 crew. Gonna ask you about Harry Potter, Lucas. How well will you do?
I'll blow you a kiss.
Okay. This, I think you won last week, didn't you?
Yes, I think I did.
Right. So this week's quiz
Yeah.
is for it's for a knowing nod.
A knowing nod. Okay, I'm looking forward to a knowing nod. All right.
Question 1. How many months has it been since Justin and nearly headless Nick had been petrified?
5.
No.
Oh, 4.
It's nearly 4 months.
Ugh. Go
Question 2. What book did loose pages sit about on the floor after Harry's bedroom was trashed?
on. Travels with Trolls.
Correct. Question 3. What book was Hermione reading in the common room the night the diary was stolen?
Ancient Runes Made Easy.
Correct. Question 4. How did McGonagall climb out of the Gryffindor common room?
Oh, awkwardly.
Correct. Question 5. What is the name of the Ravenclaw prefect who was attacked?
Penelope Clearwater.
Correct, sir. But unfortunately, you do not win. That is the harsh rule of quiz. Quiz, quizzy key, quiz, quizzy key, quiz, 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 crew. Gonna ask you some questions. How well will you do? Quiz, quizzy key, quiz, quizzy key, quiz, 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 crew. Gonna ask you about Harry Potter. How well will you do?
I blew you a kiss.
Pottervision.
Now it's time for everybody, including Tom's favourite segment. It's Hedwig's Droppings. We're not alluding to owl poo. We're not alluding to plorpings. We mean the messages you send in when we allude to Hedwig's Droppings.
Hold on a minute.
What?
You've just said everyone's favourite segment, including mine, Hedwig's Dropping.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Everyone knows the most favourite segment is quiz that we've just done. Yeah? When has this been upped? You've been slowly creeping this in.
I have,
You
haven't
started off second favourite segment.
Yeah.
Very popular segment.
Yeah.
Now everyone's most favourite segment.
Look,
The cheek of you, man.
this is
Just because I'm putting no effort into the quiz doesn't mean people aren't thrilled with it.
This isn't coming from me.
Oh, yeah.
This is through the grapevine.
Martina again, eh?
Maybe. Whispers. Little... pss, 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 pss. Guess what? What? The quiz used to be my favourite segment. Now it's Hedwig's Droppings.
P.S. I'm Lucas's mum and girlfriend.
Oh, he saw right through it. Now, we're implying that it's my mum and girlfriend, but it's just my own opinions being fed through to Tom. But we'll do a poll. I think we should do a poll this week. Find out, excuse me, what people prefer. What is everyone's favourite segment? In third place, we know it's going to be the rundown. But
you never know.
you never know.
Oh, can we include to that thing? So the poll will be
Yeah.
Hedwig's droppings
Yeah.
is an option. Quiz.
Yeah.
The rundown.
Yeah.
And 4, the interruptions of the rundown.
Yeah. Oh, no. I'm scared of what the public will decide. Now, what's in her beak this week?
Tweet.
Yeah, I like that. Now, Amy Montgomery on Instagram has said, well, we got to 10,000 downloads this week altogether.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very happy with that. We're proud, aren't we?
10,000 years ago. What's that from?
I've no idea. I think you made it up, naughty boy. Now,
Listeners, if you know what that bit of that song is from, tell us what song is that from 10,000 years ago.
and nobody's got back to me about that New York song.
Has that come out yet?
No. So that's why. You'll hear a question soon, and I want you to answer it. Now, Amy Montgomery says, congratulations on your 10,000 downloads. I've been listening to the podcast since it started in October and loved every episode.
Oh, thank you, Amy.
Now, she also says, this isn't a Harry Potter related question, but how is it that you two became friends?
Oh,
It's lovely, isn't it?
it's the most intimate question we've ever been asked.
Yeah. And there are more that could be asked.
I remember the first time I laid eyes on Lukas. We both went to an open mic comedy night in Manchester ages ago. I'd never done. I think I was there maybe I was getting up. I think I was getting up to...
Is this Worst Comedy Night?
Yeah. I was sat there in the pews. Alongside me, friend of the show, Lewis
Shaw, yeah.
He was with us there. In walked, he said, welcome to the stage, Ernest Gulbis, which was Lucas's alter ego at the time.
Yeah.
Lukas starts walking the stage, and this guy's mannerisms and confidence. Lukas was about 14 years old.
About 19, probably.
You were 19 or
yeah.
something. You were 19. And I was watching you, the confidence of this man walking to the stage. And then when you were performing, I said to myself, this guy must be a professional comedian. Right? Full-time professional comedian. How many gigs had you done?
I don't know, about
2?
2, 3, something like that. Yeah. Something like that.
And then, we started hanging out. I think you said hello to me at one point.
Yeah.
And then we started going to the same nights, hanging out, having a laugh. Yeah. Have you got any recollections of the time?
A little bit. I remember because you did the comedy sports workshops as well, didn't you?
I did one of those, yeah.
The improv course.
Yeah.
And I remember we didn't quite know each other then.
We did.
A little bit.
A little bit. I think
Yeah.
we've been to, like, parties and stuff together.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Because I remember you did a sneaky trick on half the class once.
Oh, I did, yeah.
You did a sneaky trick and I was in on it.
Yeah, I tried to convince people that I was magic by predicting a card that people would remember. But actually, I talked to about 5 or 6 of them and said, look, when we do this, say it's the 5 of diamonds. Then everybody did. And then somebody tried to guess.
Bowl and barrel.
It was Josh, wasn't it? Yeah,
Yeah.
he lives in America now.
Does he?
Or he did for a while at least.
And he goes, he went, how did you do it? And then you went, anyway.
I think he just said something like, oh yeah, it's like subliminal messaging.
I think you just went, shut up. Anyway. Yeah.
But yeah, and then,
What were your first impressions of me?
Oh, gorgeous.
Yeah?
You had short hair at the time, but I thought, if he lets that grow, it's going to look lovely.
I'll anchor myself to that man.
Yeah, exactly. Friend of the show, Lewis Shaw, I liked as well. It was just a good vibe between you.
Not what she was asking. Me. What did she ask?
What? How did we become friends?
Yeah. And then
Then we just got to know each other.
coming to your birthdays and stuff. Similar sense of humour. I remember, even before we decided on doing a show, I remember saying to you at a gathering once, me and you are going to go far.
Yeah.
And we have. Look at us in my bedroom.
We're in your bedroom. We've got a phone on 2 pillars, and we're talking about each other. But I think we bonded a lot at the Worst Comedy Night. There was a gig, and it was called the Worst Comedy Night in
It's still
Salford.
around.
It's still around, and once a fortnight at the King's Arms it was, and the same people would go. There would never be any audience.
Yeah. You'd go and you'd write jokes the day of, or maybe the
On
week,
the bus.
the week of, or maybe when you sat there.
Yeah.
And you go up, no one would laugh, and then you sit down. It was good, that.
Yeah. Classic members of the worst comedy night in Salford. I remember Mr. Swan, a man who would wear a balaclava and a suit, not say anything. He would leave polos upright on the desk, and then he would get forward and he would tell one joke every time, and it'd be the same joke. Killed it every time. Should we tell the joke? Feel like
No,
it's plagiarism, isn't it?
Yeah.
There was a guy called Steve. What was Steve's surname? Price.
Stevie P.
Who used to host it, but then it was hosted by organiser Dave. Dave
And
Turquoise.
And then bad boy of the show, Tony B.
Hey, Tony Baxter. But when we started, it was a double act, wasn't it? Baxter and Glennon. Dermot, who
Clever.
wrote erotic
The
fiction.
more professional of the two.
Yes.
More
And then-
mysterious.
Exactly.
Didn't wear his heart on his sleeve like Tony.
And then Tony went solo, didn't he?
Solo Tony. Bony Tony.
Boney Tony Baxter. So, some of the classic characters.
Yeah, thank you for your question. What was the history of the worst comedy night? There it was.
There it was. And if anybody wants any more stories, just ask and we'll tell more. Now, we did have 10,000 downloads.
10,000 years ago.
We've had a couple of shout outs. One is from Miss Adventures in Travel. She says, amazing work. We can only dream of getting there one day. So that's a podcast which is all about kind of travel stories and tales. Check them out. Help them to get to 10,000. Miss Adventures in Travel. Search
Lovely
it.
stuff.
Everywhere you get your podcasts. Ginge Pixel says, Merlin's Beard. Which is very nice.
Beautiful.
Very good. And another podcast, I think this is quite a new podcast, called JK We're Rolling, and says, congrats y'all. And that's a podcast about a kind of game system within the Harry Potter universe. So check them out as well. And finally, we've had a lovely 5-star review. Last week, we tempted people in. Somebody's bitten, because we've had a 5-star review from C. Christie, who says, I just want some stickers, mate.
Well, mate, send us your address and you get some stickers. The reason we ask for the reviews is when you put in Harry Potter on Apple Podcasts,
Yeah.
if you've got more recent reviews, you come up to the people who search for
Yes.
such podcasts. Whereas if you don't have any recent reviews, you get lost in the flurry of Harry Potter podcasts. So we asked for, it really helps us getting, if you give us a 5-star review and say something about us in making us appear for people.
Yes.
Just so we can grow the show, really.
It really, really helps. And yes, as Tom said, see Christy, just email us, pottervisioncomedy@gmail.com. Let us know your address and we will send you some stickers in the post.
Yeah. We should put a picture of the stickers online so people
Oh, they're
know
cool, aren't they?
They're beautiful.
Very good. It's our Pottervision podcast logo in sticker form.
Yeah, boy. 10,000 years ago.
I don't know what that is.
Pottervision.
This
Has
has
been
been the Pottervision podcast. As always, thank you so much for listening. If you haven't already, please give us a 5-star review. This is our call out for this week. Give us a 5-star review. It really helps boost our listeners. Also, if you want to get in touch, we're on pottervision.com. You can send us a message on there. Email us at pottervisioncomedy@gmail.com. Or you can talk to us on our social media, Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. And if you want bonus episodes at the minute, well, I think we'll have 5 episodes out, maybe 6, of Double Vision over at the Patreon website, along with other goodies, key rings, posters, all sorts of stuff. patreon.com/Pottervision. Next week, we've only got 4 more chapters left of this book. And next week, it's episode 32, chapter 15 of book 2, Aragog. You've been Tom Lawrenson.
You've been Lukas Kirkby.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Pottervision.
Thank you for listening to the Pottervision podcast. The music was performed by Jack Evans. You can contact us through our website, pottervision.com. And if you'd like bonus content and to support the show, you can visit patreon.com/Pottervision.